Yes, Sairam. Hopefully 37 people are there. Hope I can start it. Sairam Mark. So when we were, is there a way to admit people automatically? No. Okay. So in the Vidya Prem Kutir building, when Swami was interacting with some of us, myself, Vice Chancellor.
Sir,
Yes.
your mic is mute,
Oh,
sir.
mic is muted. Yes, Sairam. Many people have joined, 40 have joined. Hope I can start. A prelude of why I wanted to start this. There was a uh, meeting with Swami in the Prem Kutir, along with the Vice Chancellor was there, Minister was there, and Swami mentioned the students must, beyond subjects, crossing boundaries, they must discuss with others. Each must know something about other subject. And this era is the era of interdisciplinary research. If you want to do something meaningful, Swami keeps saying, your research must benefit the society in one way or the other. If we want to do that, we should be able to link various subjects together, because no problem in the world, no real problem in the world pertains to only one subject, right? No such thing is there. So if you want to attack a real world problem, you may have to be knowing mathematics, physics, chemistry, and other uh, art subjects also. We will explore them one by one. So today we thought we will initiate our students into the habit of discussing with each other. No subject stands on its own in this century. Let me start with this. I have gone into this a bit. I have guided some 10 PhDs, and many of them have done interdisciplinary research only. Mathematics and physics, mathematics and management, mathematics and chemistry, like that. This topic, particular topic, Sanskrit, computers, and mathematics, has been in my mind for quite some time, and many work has been done in this regard also. I would like to introduce this interrelation with the students. As Swami directed, it will be a kind of, I will try to make it interactive. I don't know how interactive I can make it. And maybe all others who will ask, they can mute their mic. And we will start interacting sometime after 15 minutes or so. I am not an expert in both the fields. I am still a learner of Sanskrit, and Naveen Bhatt knows my errors in Sanskrit. And mathematics I am still learning. Well, I thought I will introduce, see, don't think that I am an expert in all these fields. This is just a kind of survey, kind of, what is that, introduction to the topics by a person who doesn't know much about these topics. Okay, so let me start doing it. That is it. Somebody wants to be admitted. Yes. Maybe I will transfer somebody else as admin. And how do I do that? Maybe Bhargav Sai. You cannot make. Okay, I will continue with this. Yes. Let me introduce this concept. Sanskrit and computers. This is a topic of passion to many for quite some time. For quite some time, this has been the of interest to many. What do I plan to do in this talk on Sanskrit language, on the versatility of Sanskrit language? In which way Sanskrit and these computers are connected, seemingly connected. There is much to be done there. And on Panini, there are Sanskrit people here, non-Sanskrit people here. So my topic will be popular, generic in nature. I am not getting deep into anything. And there is a concept, it's a misspelled phrase structure grammar, that is seen in literature, that is seen in automata theory, and that is seen in Sanskrit also. And how the Sanskrit grammar can be viewed as a phrase structure grammar that is seen in the theory of computation of learning the theory of computer science. And the beauty of Sanskrit language, I have certain sentences to show there, and the possible projects in this area. Right. This Sanskrit is considered to be Devavani, and it has come from Prakrit. So Sanskrit is a defined version of Prakrit. That's what I understand. And the Sanskrit is made up of sounds and all that is there. Right. The beauty in English, if you see, if I say drop the letter, drop the matter, drop me, for everything I have dropped. Just a word drop. I don't know whether something else is there. But in Sanskrit, you have variety. Patram patayatu, Vishayam tyajatu, Mam stapayatu. Varieties of words are there. This is one beauty. Then the related words. See, the son of Vasudeva is Vasudeva. And the one who is related to Mitra Varunaha is Maitra Varunihi. Like that. One who is related to Muraha is Mauryaha. So this kind of beautiful sentence formation is there. There are many words to describe water-related words in Sanskrit. There are many words to describe the forms of various forms of earth in Sanskrit. Okay, that you don't find in other languages. Right. The Sanskrit and computer applications. One thing is learning and teaching basic Sanskrit. To learn Sanskrit independently using our computer aids, these ICT tools. Then designing Sanskrit for a purpose to create a software and a lexical databases. That is one. That is somebody started and it is still hanging, not completed. Then computer assisted Sanskrit teaching. I will show you certain web pages which help you to even learn Panini's grammar. Somebody has done automated the Panini's grammar also. Okay. Then computer oriented Sanskrit research is known to me for the past 20-30 years, still awaiting a full start, because for some reason, because of the object-oriented approach in Sanskrit or something else, the Sanskrit still people maintain that Sanskrit is the best suited language for computers. So let us see how. Let us just have a taste of it. Then reconstruction of Sanskrit is machine-aided translation, machine translation. These things can be done provided the link is established fully. Theory-oriented research. What relates in Sanskrit to computer science, the modern theory of computer science? The Paninian grammar formalism relates to NLP, natural language processing. There's a concept called natural language processing. Paninian grammar relates to that, right? Then Navya Nyaya technique is there. I tell you, I do not know anything about all this, but I can relate. The Navya Nyaya techniques are there. They are somewhat related to inferential mechanism. And the Shabdabodha theories are there. This can be related to knowledge representation. The Pratyaksha theory is there. This is related to image comprehension. This is related to image comprehension. Sangati theory is there. This is for story comprehension. And the cognitive science concept there is for human intelligence. When we have time, we will elaborate into this further. I have a book with me, Sanskrit and Computers, which are made as a 2-credit paper for our students. They are studying it. Maybe they will come back to us sometime. We'll just quote Professor M.A. Lakshmi Tachachar. He is still there. He was very much involved in this research, Sanskrit and computers. And of late, I see in his website, such things are not seen. Like he tried his best and he stopped. The problem is, the fellow who knows Sanskrit fully doesn't know about computers. And the fellow who knows fully about computers doesn't know about Sanskrit. And the one who knows both in the right full perspective, that fellow will be able to relate both. Let us see in any of our students try attempting it. I will try connecting them. Okay? Why the Sanskrit, in my opinion, it's an object-oriented language. There are certain papers on this. This starting from C++, this object-oriented language is what I understand is you cannot touch an object unless otherwise through the function meant for it. So only a function, the authorized functions can touch an object. Right? This is what roughly object-oriented approach means. For example, see, if I want a document from the finance section, I cannot straight away go into the finance section and pick the object from the Almera. Okay, that there is a function on that the finance officer. I will have to ask the finance officer. Then he will, the finance officer will go and fetch the document for me in the way I want. Okay, like that. See, so I cannot touch the object directly. I have to touch it through a function only, through the function only. Okay. Right. Right. Now let us see how it. So cow in English is just a sound to mean a cow. The cow has nothing to do with what the cow does. Okay. Cow is just a word. Somehow it has come some root. But in Sanskrit, if you see, Gau, Gavaha, Gau, that drills down the broad class gum, which means to move. Move. It moves. So all the words in Sanskrit have this approach. I have picked some examples with the help of a Sanskrit scholar. It's like Gachati iti Gau. The one which walks is cow. Ashrute margaha iti Ashwaha. The one which takes the path is the Ashwaha. Then Chakriyate iti Chakraha. Which one rolls is the wheel, Chakraha. Trundayate iti Trinam. That one that pricks is the grass. So for everything, there is a root. If you want to do anything with that word, you must go to the root. That's what I understand from Sanskrit Pandits. So it's a kind of whoop approach. So if this is there in a language already, it is maybe easier for us to make it as a computer-oriented language. That is the understanding. Now, maybe I can ask somebody in maybe can they give further examples in this direction that by touching a word, you must go to its root. Can anyone throw more light on this? Any one of you? One can unmute and tell me. Any Sanskrit student or Sanskrit professors over here, anybody else who know something in Sanskrit? Or the English students, literature students. Can anyone comment on this? See, it is in English, if I have cow, it's just a word. But if I come here for any Sanskrit word, I can trace it back to a root. I can trace it back to a root. If you have to do something with that word, you must take the permission of that particular formula in Paninian grammar. That is what my understanding is. Is that correct? Naveen Bhatji, Ganesh Bhatji, if somebody is here. Can you throw further examples on this? Like, see, the meaning is any word in Sanskrit has a meaning. So, if you say dwaraha, door, there is a meaning for that. It's not like door. Why door is called a door? I don't know. Why door is called a door? No idea. Okay. Now, but why a cow is called a gauhu? There is meaning. Anybody else? Can anybody unmute and tell me?
Sir,
Sir,
Sairam sir.
Krishyati iti Krishnaha.
Ah,
One who
Sairam sir. Sir,
attracts is
Karshayati,
Krishna.
Karshayati iti Krishnaha. The one who attracts is Krishna, correct?
no, that would be
Karshati,
Sankarshana.
sir.
The
Karshati.
Balarama,
Ah,
Balarama word which is there, for that the other meaning is Sankarshana. One who Karshayati, Samyak Karshayati is Sankarshana. That's the
Oh,
reason.
okay.
One who is attracting the whole world, whole earth and keeping on his head, that Adishesha Rupa and all
Is
explained in the
Krishna.
Purana. No. Balarama's meaning, they will tell Sankarshana, Balarama like that. Krishna will be done because of the Varna, the color. So the color comes from that Krishna word. Krishna. For Draupadi also, Krishna word we take because of the
Very
Varna.
good. Very good.
Like that.
So what I
For
understand,
every word,
every
this
word there is a
meaning
root.
will be there. Sir.
Meaning will
Yes.
be there. That is what.
Vyutpatti we call that.
Right, right. So this is when this is inherent in a language. It is very easy to, it will be beneficial to convert that as a programming language. Okay, that is one understanding. Okay, let me tell something about Panini for the fellows for the participants who are new to Panini. Maybe Sanskrit participants know better than me. This Panini formalized the Sanskrit grammar thousands of years ago, and it is very significant that no new classes have had to be created since then. That is very beauty. When I link this to phrase structure grammar, you will understand the beauty. This is a finite grammar generating an infinite language. This is a finite grammar generating an infinite language. I will give an example. Okay. So on the basis of approximately finitely many sutras, approximately less than 4,000 sutras, he built virtually the whole structure of the Sanskrit language, whose general shape hardly changed for the past 2,000 years. It remains same. Sanskrit remains same. Could not be disturbed. Okay, you see other languages, Kannada, Tamil, Hindi, English. It has taken various shapes. Even new words have come in without any meaning. Even IO is an English word now, right? IO is a Sanskrit word. It is an English word now. This Sanskrit's potential for scientific use was greatly enhanced through the systemized grammar of Panini. Okay. This Sanskrit is not a mere language, but the front end to a huge knowledge base. Let us look at it. See, this PIB, document I am from the document I have taken certain words. The Department of Post released a stamp, and Ministry of Communication and Information Technology in one of its records appreciates Panini like this. Panini is the greatest grammarian of all the time, like that. And Panini is a brilliant account of the structure to provide a complete, maximally concise and theoretically consistent analysis. These words we will look into. This is the appreciation in one of the documents of Ministry of Communication and Information Technology. We took it. The Panini's grammar has been compared to Euclid's geometry and its constructions that old. The Panini uses meta rules, transformations, and recursion. That is the mantra in computer science in such a sophistication that is grammar has the computing power equivalent to that of a Turing machine. So this is what the observation is. One can get into this. What's a Turing machine? Turing machine is the model of a computer. I will show a finite automata to you to give a taste of what a Turing machine is. The Turing machine is a very, very strong concept in computer science, theoretical computer science, to understand how a computer works. And the remark seen in certain records and certain papers is that the Panini's grammar is equivalent to the Turing machine. It has the power of the Turing machine, okay? In precision, in concise. Right. Maybe we can call Panini as the father of computing machines. Okay? I have some references given over here where this is mentioned. So this is to apprise you that our ancestors, whatever the Panini has devised, is not just a grammar of a language, English grammar as a language, Tamil grammar as a language, but this Panini's grammar as a beauty, it is finite. See, in English grammar, if you write, English grammar is infinite. You cannot put it in 4,000, 5,000 rules, just like Panini, just like Panini's grammar. It is infinite. For that matter, the grammar of any language is infinite, if I understand it correctly. But the grammar of Panini is finite. That is very easy to for a machine to remember how to frame words and all that. I will give an example. Now, what do? Says, I will ask any of the participants, have you seen the Sanskrit professors or computer science professors, have you read any article equating this Panini's grammar to Turing machine? Have you come across this concept earlier, or are you hearing it for the first time? We will have to elaborate this in I am just putting everything in one lecture so that we understand how intimate the Sanskrit and the heart of computer science is. Let me know from any one of the participants, have you known this before or hearing it for the first time? Those who know about Turing machine, maybe Mac students. So I think people are hearing it for the first time. That's what I guess. We can get into this. I have detailed a book on this. Maybe our students can take it up as seminars in the coming. Yes, and do that. Let me show this references. Okay, these are the references which I am talking about. Now, let me tell about a concept of formal languages and phrase structure. Again, misspell it, autocorrection. Phrase structure grammars. Let me relate this. What is that? See, what is a language in the first place? A language is a set consisting of words. Right? It's a set, infinite set or finite set consisting of words. And a subset of this subcollection consisting of all possible properly constructed sentences is set of all finite strings, that of elements of yes. You combine the elements of yes in many ways if it is meaningful. See, lion is a word, tiger is a word. Lion and tiger are animals is a properly constructed string made of this. Okay. Let me collect all properly constructed sentences. A method to determine which of these properly constructed sentences are meaningful and what the meaning is the grammar. Let me give a small example. Let yes consist of all English words, all the words in the dictionary. The complete rules of English grammar help us to find out all properly constructed sentences. There is a bulk of grammar over there which tells which sentence is correct, which is not correct. The meanings of the properly constructed sentences are determined by the grammar and the meanings of these words. That is one. Let me give a very simple example of arithmetic expression. Let S be the set of all integers and operators. 1, 2, 3, 4, plus, minus, multiplication, division, or everything. And you have the usual rules of parenthesis. When a plus sign comes, left side there should be a number, right side there should be a number. Okay. When a bracket begins, the bracket should end. All that we know. So the usual rules of parenthesis and operators helps us to find out the properly constructed arithmetic expressions. They are arithmetic expressions. You know which arithmetic expression is correct, which is wrong. Suppose if I write 1.234, that is a proper arithmetic expression. If I write 1 and then 2 dots, then that is not a properly constructed arithmetic sentence. So the properly constructed arithmetic expressions are meaningful except those involving division by 0. Let me give a very simple example. I will illustrate this also with the help of automata. Suppose I have only 6 words. I think this one anybody can understand. I have only 6 words: Ram, Sam, drives, jogs, rapidly, frequently. And I have certain symbols with me, like sentence, noun, verb phrase, verb, adverb. These are certain variables, like kind of thing. Now let us give me a sample grammar. Sample grammar. What is a grammar? See, in a grammar, if a noun is there, I can replace it by any proper noun. Okay? I can put Ram, Sam. So I give the grammar here. A sentence can be replaced by 2 variables, noun, verb phrase. A verb phrase can be replaced by verb, adverb. See, suppose if I say sentence construction, the object, subject, the construction is there, right? If I say Rama killed Ravana, the English professor can tell me what are all the nature of this Rama, what is the nature of this killed, it's a verb, and what is this Ramana object. So let me construct a miniature grammar. Noun can be replaced by Ram, verb can be replaced by drives or jogs, adverb can be replaced by rapidly, frequently. Okay. Now let me construct a sentence. Whether the construction is correct or not is dictated by the grammar. I start with sentence. According to grammar, I can replace it with 2 variables, noun, verb, phrase. And the noun I replace by Ram, verb phrase I replace by verb, adverb. And the verb I replaced by drives, adverb I replaced by frequently. Adverb I replaced by frequently. So, this Ram drives frequently is constructed in a systematic manner with the aid of this grammar. So, this is how grammar helps to build a sentence. Now, let me make it somewhat abstract. I am making it abstract now. I will write and explain it to you also. Okay. Now, any language as you have has a, see here, the set of words is this and the grammar is this. Using this, I am constructing a sentence. Let me make it abstract now. This is how the theoretical computer science gets in. And using this, we will try to understand how the Panini grammar works. Okay. Let me open another application and write something on this. See, just wait. I have words A, B, C. Just follow me carefully. Just see, I will explain now. I have certain grammar. V0 can be replaced by AW. W can be replaced by BBW. And W can be replaced by C. You have seen this. I am writing this to explain it to you. Just see. Words are A, B, C. My language is very limited. A, B, C. And I have a grammar here. What is the grammar? I start with V0. That is a starting point. After I start with V0, I can replace V0 by AW. Like noun can be replaced by Ram. Okay. And the next is again variable. W is again variable. And this W can be replaced by BBW. Just to remember it as a formula. And the W can be replaced by C. Suppose if I end up with ABC, that is a sentence for me. Let me construct and show you. Just watch carefully. I start with V0. Hope you are seeing the iScribe pad. I start with V0. I am writing now. I start with V0. I see that by the grammar 1, V0 can be replaced by AW. So I write AW. But this is not a sentence. W is still a variable. I want a sentence with A, B, C. See, I say subject, verb, object. Then I have to have a word for subject, a word for verb, and a word for object. Right? Like that I am going. I am replacing V0 by AW. What I am trying to do, I am telling you a theory which models the grammar, of a language. I replace V0 with the AW. Okay. This W is a variable. It can be replaced. It can be replaced by what? This BBW or C. Suppose if I replace W by C, I get AC. A is a word, C is a word, so it is a sentence. For me, AC is a sentence. See, I am telling something abstract. The words are ABC, the grammar is AW, V0 can be replaced by AW, W can be replaced by BBW, and W can be replaced with C also. Now AC is a sentence. Suppose if I do something else, I take AW, V0 replaced by AW, W is replaced by BBW, and again W can be replaced. So IABBC. This is also a sentence. This is also a sentence. Let me start with V0. Let me write AW. I have to go strictly by grammar. So A is there. W can be replaced by BBW. And again, this W, if I replace by C, I got a sentence. I will again replace this W by again BBW. Okay. So I take A, BB, BB, W is replaced by C. So this particular thing is again a sentence. So what are all the sentences I am able to make according to this grammar? AC, A, BBW, A, BB, BBW. Like this it goes. A, WB, 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 W, C. Like that. AC, A, BBC, A, BB, BBC, A, BB, BB, BBC, like that it goes. Can anyone tell me what is the general look of this sentence? See, hope you understand. Let me repeat. I have a set of words ABC. Like in English, there are so many words, millions of words. My language is very limited. I have only ABC. And I have a small grammar, like you have subject, verb, object, or subject, adverb, verb, object, like that. Now I have a very small grammar. This V0 can be replaced by AW whenever V0 appears. W can be replaced by BBW, or W can be replaced by C. Okay. Now I am getting various sentences like AC, A, BBC, A, WB, WBC, A, WB, WB, WBC, like that. Like that. So if I want to have a valid sentence, it must be followed by the grammar. I will just illustrate with one diagram also. This I can do it later. This is the concept called automata, finite automata, and it is helpful in finding out which are the valid sentences. I am not getting into detail into this. I can explain it later. But please understand this automata, that is the finite automata, which generates sentences out of words based on a grammar. Okay. Let me just check this. Okay. I will just type here without spaces. From JOGS, jogs, RAPIDLY, PIDLY. I am writing this. See this. Okay. I will run this. It is saying Ram jogs rapidly is accepted. I have done it without spaces. Okay, this is accepted. Suppose if I write here Ram jog daily. This is a valid sentence as per English language. But if I run it with my grammar, it says it is not a valid sentence because my grammar is very limited. I have only 6 words and few, 2 cross 2 cross 2, 8 valid sentences only I have. So this is not a valid sentence as per my grammar. Okay. So I will not get deep into this. I want to tell you, we can, just like this is a finite word. Okay. But it is generating, this finite grammar is generating an infinite language. What are all the sentences in this language? AC, ABBC, ABBBC, ABBBBC, like that it goes on infinitely. Like this, Panini's grammar is also finite. And these are all called productions, and Panini's grammar can also be given productions in my opinion. If somebody can sit with me, we can try doing this. If a maths guy and a computer guy, Sanskrit guy sit together, they can try to at least draw parallel between the theory of computation and how a Panini grammar generates a sentence. This can be done. This is what I feel. Okay. Let me get further into this. So, this is called a phrase structure grammar, and Panini's grammar can be very much viewed as a phrase structure grammar. Right. And the sequence of substitutions that produces a valid sentence is called a derivation. And the set of all properly constructed sentences is called a language. And the process of verifying whether a sentence is syntactically correct or not is called parsing. And all these 3 are in the Sanskrit language. Okay. See, if I say dog eats table, that is a valid sentence as per English grammar, but it has no meaning. This kind of notation, the computer people may be knowing this, the Backus-Naur form of notation, like a noun can be replaced by ram, sam, verb phrase can be replaced by verb, verb can be replaced by right jogs. This notation has been used by Panini. Panini's notation is very much equivalent to this BNF notation that is very much used in the theory of computer science now. When they want to describe a phrase structure grammar, they very much use BNF notation. And I have read that this BNF notation is very much equivalent to Panini's notation, or Panini's notation is very much equivalent to BNF notation. Now, let me quickly go through other aspects. I told you Sanskrit Panini's grammar is very, very brief. The most striking feature of Sanskrit grammar is the objective resolution of the speech and language into their component elements and definition of the functions of these elements. Words are analyzed into roots, general rules were worked out, defining the conditions according to which consonants and vowel influence each other, undergo change or drop out. Let me see some examples. And one more point is this concept of phoneme and morpheme that is seen in linguistics, that is very much used by Panini. That is one observation. And these are some, testimonials to Panini's grammar. And I will introduce one karalabalu.org web where the Kanakashtadai, the Panini's grammar software is developed, wherein you can just search for a sentence, you can search for a grammar. He has done it very beautifully. If you have not touched it, kindly go to it, download that Kanakashtadai and enjoy it. Okay. Right. This is the screenshot of that. Now let me quickly go through the beauty of grammar, how the sentence is built. Ramaha gachati. Ramaha gramam gachati. Kartari dvitiya. Ramaha yanena gramam gachati. Ramaha brahmanaya dhanam dhatum yanena gramam gachati. Ramaha vidyalayat brahmanaya dhanam dhatum yanena gramam gachati. Ramaha tasya vidyalayat brahmanaya dhanam dhatum yanena gramam gachati. Ramaha tasya vidyalayat mandire brahmanaya dhanam datum yanena gramam gachati. Okay? The cases can be built gradually. Now just look at this. I will conclude with this. How many of the above sentences are meaningful? Any one of you? How many of the above sentences are meaningful according to English grammar? Any one of you?
Only the first one, sir.
Only the
First one. Yeah.
Two also? Only the first one has meaning. But I will show the equivalent Sanskrit sentences. Those who can read this can read, otherwise I will read it for you. All the above sentences, see, same. The brother goes to Rama's village. They are juxtaposed. They are mixed here, but all these sentences are meaningful. What property of the grammar makes these things beautiful can be explained by a Sanskrit professor. I took it from a Sanskrit professor. Madiyaka sahodaraha ramyam gramam gachati. Ramyam sahodaraha madiyaka gramam gachati. Even if you put it this way, I understand that it means the same. They can be rearranged, and a fellow who is good at Sanskrit can know how to read it in a proper order. Naveen Bhatt, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we have seen many slokas. Slokas will be put in some order, but if you read it in the proper order, then you will understand the meaning. It is not like the English sentence. All the above sentences are meaningful. Somebody might have read in Sanskrit language, in whatever way you rearrange the words, one can get the exact what the actual meaning of the word is. Okay, so that is what put here. Now, what are all the possible projects in this that somebody started? I have seen a book, natural. I will show the book, like a natural language processing, a Paninian perspective by Vinit Chaitanya, Akshar Bharati, and Rajiv Sagal, published in the year 1995. I have talked to these professors. They said they could not proceed further beyond this because they could not get students. They could not get any researcher to sit on this. NLP and Paninian grammar are very closely related. Natural language processing are closely related. So the possible projects, the relevance of Panini's grammar for natural language processing. At least what I showed you, this one, right? This building, this is called the finite automata. Finite automata. Finite automata is there everywhere in our life. That is a thing like a machine which gives Coca-Cola coffee. If you put 10 rupee coin, it will give you coffee. Okay. If you put 10 rupee coin, press another button, it will give you Pepsi. And the platform ticket vending machine, that is a finite state machine. And this one is the description of a finite state machine. So my feeling is this Paninian Sanskrit grammar construction, because it is finite, since the grammar is finite, can also be the sentence construction in the Sanskrit grammar can also be viewed as, I have given an example in English. If I have Sanskrit font, I can type in Sanskrit also. I will try that and show it to you. Okay. See, like this, I have done something, and I will just show how it moves. That can also I show you, right? Just wait. I can step by state. For example, I can tell how it moves. Ram, Jogs, Rapidly. Just watch how the sentence is valid. The machine will tell me. The machine is telling me. Just watch. Right. It starts with noun. I step. It goes to verb because Ram is red. Okay. It goes to verb. It reads jogs. It goes to adverb. You are seeing the highlighting the state. So it reads rapidly. It goes to sentence. It is completed. Okay. Let me try one more example. I will give one more example where it stops. And I will explain this later. This is a theory called the theory of computation. I am trying this sentence. Ram jogs daily, D-A-I-L-Y. I will try this. This is not a valid sentence as per my grammar. Okay, let me try this, see where it goes. From noun it goes to verb. Then it reads verb. Then it reads daily, it stops there at adverb. It is not moving to the end. So the machine, the model I have drawn is able to recognize a English sentence according to a small English grammar that I showed you. This small grammar. I showed you this small grammar. I have a small grammar, small 6 words, and I have a very small grammar like this. It generates how many sentences? It generates 2 cross 2 cross 2, 8 sentences only are valid as per my calculation. So my feeling is this, at least the students, what they can do, this computer science students and Sanskrit students can try at least a bit of Sanskrit grammar, a particular part, how it generates a valid sentence, and how it can be linked to this phrase structure grammar. Can we draw a finite automata like this for small bits of Sanskrit grammar? I can draw with many states. I can give a grammar. The beauty is, if I can draw this machine, this is a model machine that generates a language, I can get the grammar out of this quickly. I can get the, for example, just wait. I can get the grammar out of this. Just watch. Just 1 minute. Yes. Just look here. You may not understand this now, but see, it is giving me the grammar. S is replaced by Sam. S is replaced by Ram and A. A is replaced by, make it bigger. See, this is the grammar. So I can design the machine and get the grammar. So what I guess, with the Sanskrit grammar, a part of Sanskrit grammar, 1 or 2 formulas, if we are able to draw a machine like this, draw a automata, that is linking the grammar and phrase structure, Panini's grammar and phrase structure grammar, and draw a thing like this and convert this into grammar, see whether this gives the same production, same grammar rules as that of Panini's grammar. See, S is replaced by Ram A is replaced by jogs B is replaced by frequently C is replaced by empty. So I will get Sam, the Ram, jogs frequently. I will get that sentence. Okay. So let me conclude here. See, what I want to impress upon all of you. See, I have made it fast. I understand. What I want to impress upon you, this Panini's grammar is a finite grammar, and it generates an infinite language. And the way Panini grammar generates a language can be equated to the theory of computation, that is a interface between mathematics and computer science. Okay, same thing can be done for English grammar also. I showed you a miniature. This I tried on my own. Okay, so Sanskrit grammar, if a miniature Sanskrit grammar, like a part of Panini's grammar is taken, and if we try to convert this into this kind of mini automata, a finite state automata. Okay, for your information, any finite state machine can be converted into a finite automata. Yeah, if you have a weighing machine that gives weight when you put coin, that can be converted into a automata like this. Okay, so if I have an automata like this, that can be converted into a machine. So this Panini's grammar can also be related to a machine. It should be possible for us to relate the Panini's grammar and the phrase structure grammar that is given in the theory of automata. That is one. And few others, I told you, the knowledge representation, protection theory, all that can be studied. I tell you, the study done by many are in the halfway through only. Nobody could complete it because of their age. This Lakshmi Tatachar, I told you, is pretty old now. He is unable to proceed this further. He stopped doing it. But we may not be able to achieve to make Sanskrit as a programming language. At least our students can attempt to relate the Sanskrit grammar and the grammar that is the phrase structure grammar that is discussed in computer. For your information, Pascal language has a grammar. C language has a grammar. Any computer language has a grammar. See, that will tell you whether a sentence, whether a program part is correctly constructed or not. Otherwise, it will, if you go to the compiler, it will tell that the construction of that programming part is wrong. Okay. So let us try, at least in the beginning level, try to relate the Panini's grammar and phrase structure grammar. Okay. Maybe I will give elaborate lecture on this part, how to construct a phrase structure grammar using the software called JFLab. And if any of the Sanskrit professors or students sit with me, we will try to make some animations out of this. See, this is a machine. Okay, and if I enter a sentence and click, it will tell me whether it is a properly constructed sentence according to the Sanskrit grammar or not. The one illustration I showed you, Ram jogs frequently. So like that, we can create a very big machine, very big diagram, flowchart, which when somebody enters a sentence, that will say whether that is constructed correctly according to some grammar or not. I hope I wind up here and would like to invite any questions from you. This is a hard concept. I will share the PPT with you, but still the idea is the Sanskrit grammar can be related to phrase structure grammar of theory of computation, which is the combination of mathematics and computer science. And I tell you, these English students may also try to make small animated things like this. That will make things interesting, and that will help us to understand the relationship between English and Sanskrit and computer science, Sanskrit mathematics. Okay. Hope if there are any questions, I will take up and go for the next class. Any questions from the students? Any feedback from you? Any one of you? Any feedback? What did you get out of this? At least, could you get a glimpse of how Sanskrit is related to computers? How Sanskrit grammar can be utilized? Any feedback from any one of you? Maybe any one of the Sanskrit students? Or Naveen Bhatt, sir. Yes.
Sairam, sir. Sir, it was wonderful session, and definitely we will sit with you, sir, for regarding this. And I know one of this professor called Amba Kulakarni. Actually, they started on PG course regarding computational linguistics in Sanskrit. So maybe they are running that one. Once we will sit with you, sir, regarding this, and definitely we will do this.
The word used, computational Sanskrit. Can we? Yes, can we make it? Can we bring in some mathematics or computer science into this? Whether we can draw some diagrams like this. Is there anything like a small part of this Sanskrit grammar that can be studied like this, sir? Yeah, I told you a mini English grammar. Can it something like some words in Sanskrit and certain parts of the grammar, can they be brought together to make a small miniature Sanskrit language? Like the one I showed you, Ram Sam jogs frequently, like that. Can we take certain sentences and can we try doing it?
Yes, sir, sure,
yes.
Sir.
Okay. Any one of the other students I will come to you, but the idea is no subject stands on its own. That is the very important concept our students must keep in mind. Wherever you go, the history students can make use of statistics, you may be knowing. History students, English students can make use of statistics. And maths and almost any sciences intertwined. And computer science can be used for image compression and all that. One of my students did some work in Jaina logic and computer science. Okay, so the other logic concepts in Navya Nyaya techniques in Sanskrit, can it be related to the logic of logic that is given in mathematics? We tried one thing, that is, we have mathematical logic, and we related, one of my students related mathematical logic with the Sherlock Holmes stories. So the Sherlock Holmes stories that were given in English were completely written with the mathematical symbols. If I have time, I will explain it to you. The Sherlock Holmes is a logic, and I related it with the mathematical logic. The same way, can the Nyaya techniques are logic, right? If I am correct. Nyaya is logic?
Yes, sir.
Right. These Nyaya techniques, can it be related to something like can it be argued on certain these concepts like Sherlock Holmes or something like that? I have done that work, relating mathematical logic with the Sherlock Holmes. Maybe English students, I will take a session for you, how the Sherlock Holmes story can be written completely mathematically. Completely mathematically. In our language, we will write, and whatever conclusion we get as per the mathematical logic, the same conclusion Sherlock Holmes will also get. So that's the interesting part we have done. We can think of it. Please think of it. I have a book, Sanskrit and Computers, that I can share with any one of you. Any other feedback from any one student, Parsarthi, somebody? What would you get out of this? What thoughts are coming in your mind after seeing this? It is a very rough introduction. Okay. What thoughts are coming to your mind after seeing this? Any math student or history student, biology student? Biology students were telling me that they have been talking on interdisciplinary subjects. What kind of interdisciplinary subjects biology students have thought of? Bhattu Bhargava was messaging me. He told me that we are discussing among ourselves about interdisciplinary this thing. How did Bhargava find this? Any Sanskrit student here? Niketan, Bhargava, is anybody here or all left? Any Sanskrit student in the forum now?
Sir, can I speak, sir?
Yes, Prabodha.
Yeah, sir. Other day when regarding this interdisciplinary which we are having, sir, on Monday classes, we had other day when I and Niketan were discussing, we have found that what Shakespeare has written and also what Wordsworth has written, and we think it's the same thing which we have in our scriptures. Yeah, because even Shakespeare tells that everything in this world is just a piece of paper and which will not last for long. That's what he says.
Okay.
And even in our Upanishads and all those things, even we have also have the same thing. I would like to just quote what Shakespeare has said. He said, "We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is surrounded with a sleep."
Yes.
This is what Shakespeare has said in Tempest. So the same thing is what same Advaitam which was told by Swami and either in our Upanishads, in our Sanskrit which we had. So regarding such things we were discussing in our interdisciplinary classes.
Very good. See, Manas, if you do this, you will end up with peppers. Like, see, the kind of things you told, the Advaita concepts that are seen in, I have read in Khalil Gibran. In Khalil Gibran, I have seen a lot of philosophical concepts. Maybe if you both sit together, okay, then share. He may not know Wordsworth, and you may not know much about the Upanishads and other stories. If we both sit together as you have done now, maybe sit together, come up with some concept which we can present it to the common forum. Okay, Okay, you try doing it. That will be of interest, and you will get more topics to do research. I have seen one fellow who related Vedanta, the concept of, please listen, one research I have seen, the concept of light in Vedanta Desika Sutras and the concept of light in physics. And they said in physics it is described by certain 7 characteristics or something. And Vedanta Desika has few more characteristics of lights in his slokas. So the concept of light in Vedanta Desika slokas was related to the concept of light in physics. That is interesting. See, that makes our lives interesting. So, thanks Manas, you try doing this. Maybe I don't want this to be a monologue. I don't want to continue this forever. Maybe I should motivate you to get into such interactions. And slowly, you must be in all your rooms. English fellow should walk into a Sanskrit classroom and talk something. Mathematics fellow should walk into a history fellow and tell how statistics can be used by them to study. See, for example, in Sanskrit, students are here. English students are here. If you want to say, suppose a particular sloka calms down the mind, how do you prove it? To prove it, you need to have an interface with the biology man or the physics man for some, or the medical man to connect with some instrument. You chant the sloka, measure the ECG, something has to be done. Or you can do it statistically also. So if you want to do some research which is meaningful to us, you may have to talk among yourselves. Okay. History man, any feedback from others? Any one of the history man, did you, in your view, could you find anything in the other subject that is related to you? I will soon bring together English and Sanskrit man through this press structure grammar. I will make you interact. Okay. I will tell how to form this software. It is really available. You can try on your own. Anybody, any feedback from anybody else? Okay. Okay. If you have any doubts in this further, get in touch with me. Each one of this topic I can elaborate. Yes. Yes, Satya Gopal. Satya Gopal wants to say something. Satya Gopal is reading Vedic mathematics paper, that is speed arithmetic. Okay. Maybe Satya Gopal, you can say about it one word. What do you do with no. Not audible. Echo is there. Okay. What do you do with the math students? Yes.
Sir, I'm not clear.
Satya Gopal can mute. Yes, Nagaparna.
Sir, very much pleasant.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay, some audio problems. See, thank you, all of you. This should make you think that there is something common between any two subjects. Maybe slowly, if possible, the science students together and art students together, okay, can try to interact among themselves to see what is there in other subject. This will encourage interdisciplinary research, and this will lead to more papers, more books. Okay. We can give much to the world. This is a university wherein all these are sitting together, and we have a traditional approach also. All of us can sit together and make something meaningful. If a history man should be able to approach a computer science to write a program for him, he must be able to do something automatically. Okay. The English man and the Sanskrit fellow should sit together to how to make things interesting. If a Sanskrit man wants to teach through animation, he must be able to get the help of the computers and all. Okay, Naveen Bhatt sir, we will look into this further. Okay. Thank you. So kind of you. I will share the presentation and certain books also, certain papers also I will share among the group. I have made all of you together because all of you are learning Sanskrit, I understand. So Let us try to relate things. Let us try to think how any two subjects are related. Okay. Thank you. So kind of you.